Everyone, and welcome to Griswold High School, where tonight your Griswold Wheeler Wolverines host the Windham Whippets here at Griswold High School. I'm Kevin Thompson, alongside me, Mike Minarski. Mike, coming off a 14-7 loss last week, the Wolverines are to Waterford, and then Windham comes in, coming off an 18-0 win over Ledyard.
Yeah, last week, we were both at that game, and where Griswold lost 14-7, and I think you said it best. Pretty much nobody really wanted to win that ball game. It just seemed like nobody was fighting, to really just take that away. And Griswold started. What I thought was really the best part of that whole ball game, though, is that Griswold's their defense was excellent through the entire game. They held Waterford to their lowest point total of the entire year, and we also saw the quarterback start to throw the ball a little bit more. And he had some juice on the ball. So I think there's some promise there. But then again, he's showing his wares because he's going to be the starting quarterback next year, Jaden Curtin Quinn. But we got Koziel coming back probably for Thanksgiving Day. So as far as tonight is concerned, you've got Jaden going to be at quarterback once again. And I don't really know a lot about the Whippets. How about you?
So the Whippets come in
18-0 last week.
18-0 last week against Ledyard. Ledyard this year is having a very down season.
Right.
But they come in at 2-4. So common opponents. They've had 4 of them. They're 2-2. Both teams are 2-2. They both lost to Bacon Academy, lost to Waterford, and beat Stonington and Ledyard.
Now, the other thing, too, is that what I'm concerned about is the playoff picture, at the end of the year. I don't know if Griswold is out already. They only have 9 games. They have 2 losses. I think this is a must-win, obviously. Craig next week is a must-win for Griswold. And I also think Plainfield is probably going to be their toughest game of the year. Plainfield's won 6 in a row. They're playing Stonington tonight, so you can pretty much, sorry, Stonington, but it's probably going to be 7 in a row after tonight. So they're going to be really tough and really hard to beat. And Plainfield was a team that nobody gave any credence to at the beginning of the year. They didn't think they were going to be that good, but they've been phenomenal. They haven't played a lot of great teams, but they sure they beat Bacon. We didn't.
Right. You play who's on your schedule, and they've won when they've needed to. I think you're right. Griswold is going to have to win out to have a shot.
Yeah, they got to win the last 3.
They came in last week with only 1 loss, and we're only ranked number 11 in Class S. So. Yeah. It's unlikely they're going to get in the top 8 if they lose another game. Good indicator next week. So how the Wolverines play tonight against Windham might be a good indicator for next week, because Windham lost to Craig, I should say, 20-8.
Yeah, and Craig's been getting better and better as they've joined the conference and everything. So you never know what you're going to get from Craig. When we went to Craig last year, it was a good game. Let's take our hats off now, though, for the national anthem.
And blustery, Mike. I think it was 31 on the car thermometer coming down, but with the wind chill, it's got to be 20. And this is the first game this year we've really had weather be this much of a factor, I think. In cold like this, everything hurts when it gets hit. So the ball is going to be like a rock when you're kicking it or throwing it.
And this is really the first game that it's been this cold. Last week it still wasn't all that cold, but it's just kind of brisk out there now. And, blustery, like a good Winnie the Pooh day. Hey, I want to say hello to everybody that's listening to us on SNSN Radio, as well as on our YouTube page and on our website. So Kyle Gunderman is running video in the other room, so you get play-by-play and video. So put it on your smart TV and sit back, make some popcorn, and have some football time.
And unfortunately, he has a camera on us, which no one needs to really see, but that's okay. We'll do our best. We are bundled up. There is no heat in the booth, and we do have the window cracked a little bit so you can hear some of the action on the microphones. He's got microphones outside, though, too, which will help with that.
You want to snuggle?
Body heat. So it is going to be the Whippets kicking off to the Wolverines. You have Chappelle and Matson back, as usual, for the Griswold Wheeler Wolverines. Happy to bring this game to you tonight from the Griswold Pride booth.
And the kickoff is being brought to you by Highway Campers in Plainfield. Highway Campers, 564-0141. Boom, there's the kickoff.
A little roller to about the 35-yard line picked up there. Looked like Van Tyne picked it up and brought it to the 44. So that's where we'll start tonight for the Wolverines at their own 44-yard line.
So they're going to start at some pretty good field position. I sure hope that they don't have the same kind of game as they had last week. Last week, the first couple of possessions, they were able to move the ball fairly well against the Waterford defense. And Waterford figured them out, but they didn't change anything until like the fourth quarter when it was pretty much too late.
All right, here we go. Looks like they're coming out in the typical split wing here. And that is the case. Quinn under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Thibodeau. Thibodeau around the right side. Goes into Whippet territory all the way down to about the 47-yard line. Just about a yard short of the first down.
That's a good sign right there if they're going to be able to run the ball. I mean, I know it's only the first play, and they got about 9 on that pickup, like you said. But if they can run the ball, I mean, that has obviously been Griswold's bread and butter throughout the entire season, is to be able to move the ball via the run.
Thibodeau comes out, and they bring Franklin in. Franklin, Chappelle, and Sims are your running backs. That's a hand up to Chappelle over to the right side again, and he brings it inside the 40 down to about the 37, 36-yard line. So that'll be a first down for the Wolverines, and they are going to mark it at the 36.
And one thing about the Whippets is that even though they're having a not as good as the season as they usually do, remember who was that kid when we were out in I forget his name, but he became the all-time rushing leader when we were there. Yeah,
that was a couple years ago. That was actually in the pregame I was going to talk about that. That's the Windham won 28-24 that year, 2 years ago. And this is going to go up the middle, the handoff, and fighting for a few yards. And it looks like it's going to be Matson on that carry. And he got about 4 on that.
Well, what I was going to say is that Windham usually plays the Wolverines very tough every single year. I mean, no matter what, they're a tough team. They win, they lose, they win, they lose. But it's always a good game, regardless of what their records are. It's like that with Plainfield, too.
All right, second down here from the 31. Looks like there was offsides or a false start. Don't know which one. Was he drawn off or did he jump?
Offsides.
No, offsides are calling it. And that's the signal from the referee officially, so that'll be 5 yards for the Wolverines and put them at a 2nd and 1.
All right, so they're starting off to move the ball pretty good. They've got about a 40-yard drive so far on the field. This field looks beat up, does it not?
The middle of the field, they've been having football games every Sunday. When we're here for church, there's a game down here every Sunday.
Sims.
Up the middle, he breaks free, breaks a couple tackles, gets inside the 15.
Oh, that could be a telltale story right there. He broke like 3 tackles before he got brought down. And Mikey Sims is just he's just a tree trunk coming at you, and it's get out of the way when he's coming, or try to drop toe hold him or something, because you're not going to go head-to-head with him.
Picked up about 13 yards on that, all the way down to the 13 of the Windham Whippets. Quinn takes the snap, hands it up to Thibodeau to the right side, breaks off the tackle, and he gets down inside the 5. It's close to the first down, Mike. Kind of hard to see from our angle. Are they giving him the first? Did the referee just signal that? No, 2nd down and 1 it's going to be. 2nd down and 1.
So far, so good on the ground.
Another 9 yards for Thibodeau. He's got 18 yards on this drive. Quinn under center, surveying the defense. Thibodeau in motion. He hands it up the middle to Chappelle.
I think he's in. Is he in?
Is he in? No signal. No, it looks like he's short, down at the 1. So Logan gets us to the 1 yard line.
They seem to be running the ball pretty much at will. Or getting yardage at will. The line is having a hard time already, right in the first possession.
And
there you go.
Is that in? No signal still. Yeah, now they're finally signaling touchdown. So there we go.
That was Mikey.
Michael Sims on the carry. Touchdown for the Wolverines. 1 yard plunge.
Lucas for the point after.
Bartrett's in for the PAT.
And
blocked. Blocked, so that'll be no good. All right, so just about 3.5 minutes into the game, 8:36 to go in the first quarter. 6-0 the Wolverines on the board first, and we'll take a quick break and be right back. Listen to Wolverine football on SN.
Just gonna do.
All right, so 6-0. .836 to go in the first quarter. They're about ready to kick the ball off. And the Whippets had no answer there for the running game in the first drive for the Wolverines.
No, not at all. And but let's not get too happy too quick because, like I said last week, they moved the ball pretty well against Waterford in pretty much the first quarter. That kid's got a boot, man.
Kickoff goes to the 14 for the Whippets. Taking it up the left sideline. He gets out to about the 25, 26-yard line. Will be taken down there.
So let's get into the second quarter, you know what I mean? And we'll see what happens there as far as, if they're still able to run. Because Wyndham's going to go ahead and make some adjustments. I mean, they're a good team. They've been a good team, well coached every single year. So they're going to make some adjustments. They're going to make compensations for Mikey Sims, traveling like a truck through the line.
So they're going to say 1st and 10 at the 27 here. Taking the snap from under center. Left handoff off to the right side. Looks like they tackled him for a couple-yard loss there.
It was Juan Flores. He's a senior. I think they pretty much got back to the line of scrimmage, it looks like.
No, they lost
2 years.
Yeah,
2 years. I'm sorry.
They lose 2 there, so they're back to the 25. So the quarterback for Windham is Pucho Almodovar. And I believe Flores was their #1 running back last year, too, Mike. Another handoff.
You only got a couple there. You got
inside.
Back to the original line of scrimmage. That was Felix Martinez.
Felix Martinez on that carry. He's a senior as well. 6'1", 220. He's got good size. They only gave him 1 on that one, Mike.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3rd and 11 here for the Whippets.
You cannot take the Wolverine Wheeler defense lightly. They are tough. They're probably as good as I've ever seen them. In the 4 years that we've been carrying them.
Yep. I'm going to work for the crowd.
Rolling out to his left. Almodovar is looking for a receiver. He finds one over his head, though. That went over the head of Flores. Incomplete, so that'll bring up 4th down.
I think Flores was even kind of confused if the ball was coming at him, and he turned around and here it was, but it was way over his head anyway. So 4th and long for the Whippets. Whip it good.
Okay, Devo.
You knew that was coming at some point tonight. It may even come again.
And we got a punt. First punt of the game here. 7:12 to go in the first quarter. 6-0 Griswold leads. Oh, punt's blocked. Up in the air, bounces at the 30-31 yard line of Windham, and that's where the Wolverines will take over. Good field position here for Griswold Wheeler.
Well, you're going to block our extra point? We're going to block your punt. How do you like those cookies? So it's what, an 8-yard punt? Is that what it turned out to be?
Not even, I don't think.
Not even, maybe
it was
5.
Maybe like 6.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
So the Wolverines starting off with good field possession again on the 30.
Quinn takes the snap from under center. Hands it off to Thibodeau going over to the right side. Following his blockers. Oh, he got a nice block. Way up in front. He could go. He's inside the 5. Oh, and dragged down at about the 2.
He skated just by the pylon to the right of it. He needed to be on the other side of it to get the touchdown, but right at the goal line. So like a 30-yard run for Thibodeau.
Nice run by Thibodeau there. And the blocker out in front leading the way. Awesome job by there by Mikey Sims and also number 66, Isaiah Clark.
You got to give it to Thibodeau here. Let him pile it in here. This should be his TD.
Quinn takes the snap. They do. They hand it off to Thibodeau.
Oh, he
nice
gets tripped
slice
up.
though inside the backfield.
Wow.
Number
nice.
11 there from Windham.
Jacob Rodriguez Santiago.
JRS coming up with a nice stop there. That'll be a loss of 1.
Which I don't think it really much matters because, those goal line stances, and honestly, worst comes to worst to give it to Mikey Sims, and, he takes 4 Whippets in there.
They're going with the power eye right here, Mike.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen. Sims is going to get the fullback handoff here. See what happens. No, they go to Thibodeau again with Sims leading him, and he stopped. Down to the 1. So we lost a yard, picked up 2, but they were at the 3.
There you go, talking about those adjustments. You know what I mean? They didn't make the adjustment the first, the first play of this drive, but the last 2 they've been all over Thibodeau. And Chappelle's coming in.
So it looks like they gave him nothing on that.
Thibodeau's going to take a seat, and Chappelle's coming in. So
see what happens here. You're going to have Chappelle, Matson, and Sims in the backfield. And they're going back to the split wing here, so we'll see if they try to pound it in or... Oh, Matson fumbles it on the handoff, picks it back up, and taken right down at the line of scrimmage. So they'll still have the ball at the 2-yard line.
So they started at the 30, got to the 1, and they've gone backwards last. Now they got... obviously you're going to go for it on 4th here because even if you don't, then the Whippets, get it at the 2-yard line, 3-yard line.
So here we go, 4th down, and they actually say you lost a yard on that. So they're back to the 3-yard line.
And sometimes that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad thing. Gives them a little bit more room to craft up a play.
Be interested to see if they try to roll out here.
Roll left.
Go to the outside. No, they try to pound it up the middle again. And is he in?
He's in.
He's in.
Is that Chappelle?
I think that was Matson.
It was Matson. CJ
Matson for the 3-yard TD run. Wolverine touchdown. It looks like they're going to go for 2 here, Mike. That will be the case as Quinn comes back in. Lines him up at the 2.5-yard line. Motion from right to left, hands off to Sims inside. He drags a couple people, I think, into the end zone. They say nope. They're saying he's short.
Looks like I thought he broke the plane, but let's check instant replay with Kyle. Maybe Kyle can review the play for us. Not that it'll be official or anything, but to me it looked like he broke the plane. But
that's
maybe
okay.
Not.
Another touchdown on the board for the Wolverines. 12-0, 4:34 here to go in the first quarter. And you listen to Wolverines football on SN.
You got 1 minute.
All right.
is hard doing it by myself. Especially when the cool's off, because one of these buttons is supposed to be 12 o'clock and it's not working, so that's why I'm constantly doing stuff on the computer.
My stream is off.
What's that?
My stream is off.
Okay.
Referees for tonight's game, the head ref is Kevin Long. Umpire is Darrell Wilson. Linesman Mike Scott. Line judge Robert Rado. Staff judge Glenn Davis. And timer Grant Livingston.
What's that?
Is there anything
Who's your officials
Unfortunately,
for
no.
tonight's game.
I mean, I would love it, but I haven't figured out how to give jobs yet to other people. But thank you for offering.
Even as with the kickoff return, we'll be starting out first.
And unfortunately, the young man slipped when he went to plant his foot, so they're going to take over at their own 27.
It's only their second possession. Griswold has been successful in their first two possessions. Of course, they're up 12-0, but they haven't been able to get any extra points.
So here we go. Whippets with their second possession. Up the middle. Oh, and Mikey Sims sent him back where he came from, right at the line of scrimmage.
Mattson gave him a little slap on the butt and said, "That's how you do."
That was Santiago on that carry, and he wants the number of that truck that hit him.
Yeah, Mikey's getting that kind of reputation this year.
He's by far been the best player on defense, game in and game out, for the Wolverines. And he's severely disappointed if he's not an all-ECC defensive player this year. They're going to hand it off to the right side. Mattson
wrapped him up.
Corner, wrapped him up. Got a couple on that, but Mattson stopped him from getting any more.
Is that the first play for Windham that they
Positive yardage? I think they had
yeah.
a 1 yard. They did it, a 1 yard carry in the last one. And that was a different running back this time, Mike, for the Whippets. It was Dustin Selensky.
Hey, for the Polish kid.
Got 3 yards on that one, so it'll be up 3rd and 7.
I like the Polish kids, you know. With a name like Minarski, you gotta like Polish kids.
Running back in motion. Way to the backfield. Oh, the quarterback, I don't know what they were trying to do there, if they were going with an option pitch, but they swarmed the quarterback quickly.
He lost like 5
jerseys in there. And he's getting up a little slowly, a little help from one of his linemen. So Almodovar went nowhere on that one. It's going to be 4th and 11. And they'll be punting it away.
They're going to punt it, yeah.
Yep. Almodovar is the punter as well. You got Chappelle and Mattson back as usual.
Nice
Not
kick.
blocked this time. Decent kick. Oh, Mattson fumbles it at the 49, zone 49.
You got it back.
Forward to the 47 of Windham. So they'll have it at the 47-yard line in Whippet territory.
Okay, so that's exactly what you were talking about earlier, about it being so cold out there, and the ball's going to be like a brick, like an ice cube, for crying out loud. And that's the second time that CJ's touched the ball that it has dropped. And I'm telling you, at least he's got to be cold.
All right. First down here for the Wolverines at the Whippets 47. So far, first 2 drives, 2 scores.
Hey, there's a timeout, and you know what? I'm gonna step aside. You know, I'm done. I'm out of here. You know, because the real guy just showed up. So
We're gonna get a replacement. Actually, the original.
I'm gonna go to the sidelines. You know, someone else is gonna.
So Mike can go down to the sidelines and freeze. So PJ Pastor Josh has arrived. So he's gonna step in here for Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Timeout.
Good evening, everybody.
What's up, Josh?
Hey, doing my thing. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. So it's 12-0.
I see that.
They
You
scored.
guys have been busy.
Scored on the first 2 drives pretty easily, without much resistance. But they missed. The extra point was blocked, and then their 2-point conversion on the second touchdown, they did not convert. So that's where we are. 12-0. 2:23 to go here. So take it away.
I heard you guys talking about how chilly it was outside. It's freezing.
Thibodeau there to the right side. And he's fighting some tacklers. Carried a couple of them with him. Looks like he got about 3 yards out of that, Josh.
I guess my question is, to bring me up to speed real quick, is we still have Jaden Curtin Quinn as the quarterback, I'm guessing?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
The news at this point is that maybe Thanksgiving
Okay.
for Koziel.
All right.
Maybe. So the 2 touchdowns, one by Sims, one by Matson. Thibodeau has carried the ball for the most yardage so far. A nice 29-yard run on one of the drives.
2nd and 7 for the Wolverines from the Whippet 43-yard line from the shotgun. Handoff to the right-hand side to number 5.
Chappelle looks like he got the first down there, Josh. I think he just got past the marker.
He was forced out of bounds by the Windham Whippets.
Let's see where they spot this. Are they giving it to him? Yeah, they're moving.
Look, moving the chains.
Yeah. No. They're saying it's third. Wait a second. Yep. They
Yard short. Yard short.
Chappelle for 6 on that one.
Here's the snap for 3rd and short. It's a handoff to the near side. Got some good blocking. Number 4 carrying the ball. Forces his way down the field. Picks up the first down.
Nice run by Chappelle to the left there, Josh. He had some blocking in front of him.
He sure did. I believe it was number 53.
Yeah, it was it's 53.
Not on our roster.
63 maybe.
63 maybe?
Yes. That would be Keith Cady.
Because it was a great blocking and then a great job there. Picked up almost 10 yards on that run. So 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. Number 35 in motion. It's a fake with a run up the middle, bulldozing his way through the defense. Are the Wolverines picking up another first down?
Mikey Sims all the way down to the 11, Josh, carrying a couple tacklers with him.
That was a fantastic run. So they faked to Thibodeau, who ran to the outside, and boy, it worked because it opened up a gap for Sims right up the middle there that brought them down to the 11-yard line in Whippet territory. Thibodeau in motion, gets the carry this time, has some lead blocking, turning the corner, turning upfield, breaks 2 tackles and brought down about the 6-yard line in Whippet territory.
Nice run there again by Thibodeau. Again, he has the most yards so far, I would say, for the Wolverines. We'll tally that up at halftime and let you know where we are, but he had a nice 29-yard run in the second drive.
So the scoreboard's having a hard, saying 2nd and 7. Run up the gut.
Sims get in?
I believe Michael Sims, there's a flag on the play, but Michael Sims scored a touchdown.
Yeah, the flag came from the back judge, Josh. I don't know if that was after the fact when he got over the line and then the Windham player hit him. So if they're going to call unnecessary roughness or something to that effect.
I saw one of the Windham Whippets kind of clapping and almost looking like he was celebrating, but he stopped. The refs are having a conversation, looking over to the far sideline with the Whippets coaching staff. Almost like they're coordinating with them, but sure enough, now one of the refs is actually going over to talk to the Windham Whippets coach. Looks like we have a call coming here. Touchdown.
Sounds good. All right. So Mikey Sims, 8-yard run for the TD.
So not sure what the judges saw there with the flag coming from the backfield, like you said, but that we'll take the 6 points. So here in the first quarter of play, with just seconds left on the clock, it's 18-0. The Griswold Wolverines over the Windham Whippets so far.
Going for 2 here, Josh.
Okay.
Trying to get back to even with the missed extra points.
So Jaden Curtin Quinn signaling with his right foot, takes the snap. It's a run to the left-hand side, and looks like he was forced out of bounds short of the goal line.
That would be correct. Yeah, Matson didn't quite get it. So that will lead the score 18-0.
Lead blocks were all stretched out along the goal line there, but could not turn the corner to break into the end zone. So Wolverines are coming back to the sideline and going to be resetting for a kickoff here. It looks like, are we going to turn the field around? Did the clock run out? I can't see the scoreboard.
Still 18.9 seconds on the scoreboard.
So they'll kick from the right and then probably run a play, maybe two, and then we'll be turning the field around. Right now the Griswold Wolverines are running from the right-hand side of the field to the left. They're running from Lisbon to Preston right now. Yeah, it's worked out well for them. Scored 3 touchdowns heading in that direction. So even with all the rain from earlier this week, the field looks pretty good. I mean, it's worn like you would expect at the mid-season, trending towards the end of the season, but field condition looks pretty nice.
I think we figured out what the penalty was. They never really signaled after the flag was thrown when Sims scored the touchdown. It was a personal foul, taunting on Griswold, so Sims must have done something after he scored.
It was a blow to the head. So against the Wolverines. Thank you, Lou. Lou D'Amico in the press box next door to us has just let us know that it was a blow to the head, that one of the Wolverines must have smacked somebody during the process of scoring that touchdown. So that penalty was assessed on the kickoff, it looks like.
No, they just threw another flag.
I was going to say.
Sure. Or they were saying that they went before the whistle, before everybody was ready, because no time came off the clock. So that had to happen after he scored. We didn't see anything.
But the flag was pulled, like as soon as the tackle was done, the flag was pulled. So they must have seen something. Well, thanks, Lou, for the update. Appreciate that. Well, here's another kick for the Wolverines from their own 25-yard line. Let's see if that one works. Low line drive over center field, bouncing and picked up at the 35-yard line. Whippets running to the near side of the field, right towards the press box, turning up corner, and then CJ with the tackle out of bounds, stopping the play in Wolverine territory at the 45-yard line.
Nice run back there for the Whippets. The first time they've been in Wolverine territory. That's Jacob Santiago, one of their running backs. So that was a nice little run back there. That's about 30 yards, 32 yards on that one.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for the Whippets from the Wolverine 43-yard line with just seconds remaining, 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play here. Again, the score is 18-0. Wolverines on top of the Whippets. But here come the Whippets from the line of scrimmage. Here's the snap. It's a run up the middle by number 9. The Wolverines are stuffing it. The fight continues, and he falls forward for a gain of, what'd you say, Kevin, maybe a yard or two?
Probably a yard. I think that's what they're going to give him on that one. And that'll do it for the first quarter.
Hey, we're on TV. Where can people find us on TV? Facebook or something? How do they get there?
SNSNonline.com. Click the video viewer.
SNSN.com and SNSNonline.com and click the video viewer. Is that Kyle over there making the magic happen? He's amazing. I love Kyle. So you can watch the game with us tonight with the play-by-play coverage. There is a fresh 12 minutes on the clock, so we're going to turn the field around. Do we have time to say thanks to some of our sponsors for providing coverage tonight?
And, of course, say thank you to Kevin Trahan, Trahan Agency. They are in Plainfield, Wisconsin Village, 564-3383. They're open on Saturdays. Thank you very much. Kevin is one heck of a athlete himself. I guess that's maybe one of the reasons why he sponsors and supports Griswold Wheeler football and other Griswold sports as well. Also, thank you to Ken Winton and Winton Automotive on North Main Street in Jewett City. My goodness, customer service is definitely their biggest feat over there. Score a touchdown with customer service at Winton Automotive. Believe me, I've been there a couple times myself, and great customer service always at Winton Automotive.
Thanks, Mike, and of course to our sponsors. The Whippets charging down the middle of the field, pick up a couple of yards, bringing up a third down for them. They're going to be
It's
about
a flag, Josh, so I think it's going to come back. Yeah, he's saying an illegal shift. So it's going to be 5-yard penalty against Windham.
It would have been 3rd and 7, but now it looks like it's going to be 3rd and maybe 8. Or I'm sorry, it would have been 3rd and 2. Now it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8. Whoa, they're really bringing that back. Okay,
Yeah.
so the ball's moved back to the 47-yard line now, still in Griswold territory, basically back where they started from.
2nd and about 14.
2nd and 14 after penalties here. Whippet quarterback looking to his left, looking to his right, motioning to a tailback. Still talking and chatting. Almost looks, sure enough, he's going to call a timeout. He didn't like something. So we're going to take a quick break as the Whippets call a timeout. Crazy thing happening this Sunday at River Church. This is a first for us. Kevin, we have 6 baby dedications.
Count them, 6.
6 families.
It's called organic growth.
Are dedicating their children at River Church. We've had about 9 or 10 babies born this year at River Church. There's something in the water, and so that's going to be kind of fun.
Well, not at River Church. That would be a different kind of church.
Yeah. The reason I thought of it is because Lou D'Amico, who just gave us the update about the personal foul for the most recent touchdown, we buy flowers for all the families who are dedicating children, and then I think I need to bring the truck to the greenhouse on Saturday to pick up the flowers. So it's very cool. We're excited about that. Whippets are still in a huddle, so they've got some big plan. It'll be exciting to see what they're going to do here. 2nd and 14 from the Griswold 47-yard line. Whippets are scoreless so far tonight, as the Wolverines have put 18 points down. Here's the snap. Looking to throw downfield to the near side, looking for number 11, but overthrew number 21 for the Wolverines was on defense there. That's Xavier Torres. And so that was an awful lot of planning for an incomplete pass.
Chaikow, yep. That was Chaikow on the defense. But that's the second time that the quarterback, Almodovar, has tried to throw for Windham.
Yeah.
And both have been way over the receiver's head.
Interesting. Bringing up 3rd and 14 from the Wolverine 47-yard line. 2 running backs in position. Fakes to number 11, rolling to his right, looking to throw down the field. Has his receiver
almost.
who drops the ball in the process of being tackled. That was my man Anthony Franklin on the tackle there.
That was right at the first down marker, Josh, too.
Yep.
And Franklin just stuck his hand in there as the ball was coming into the receiver's chest and popped it right out.
Popped it right because he hit him. It was a great throw. Hit him right in the numbers. Caught the ball, and then Anthony came in for the hit, and that's going to bring up a punt for the Windham Whippets. So near thing here, but broken up by Anthony Franklin. Here's the punt to the far side of the field. No one back there to catch it. They're going to let it bounce and stop at the 15-yard line in Wolverine territory. So Jane Curtin, Quinn, and crew is going to come out here with the offense starting from their own 15. 1st and 10, Wolverines, 18-0. We're only 1 minute into the second quarter, so the Wolverines have shown that they can move the ball against this Whippet defense.
3 drives, 3 touchdowns. First one was 56 yards, the second one was 31 yards, and the last one was 53 yards.
We're going to say that counts as moving the ball against the defense. My guess is, I missed most of the first quarter, my guess is those were all on the ground yards, Kevin.
Indeed. Oh, got a whistle here.
Play whistled dead.
False start on Griswold.
So it's going to move us back a little bit closer the wrong way. You can watch coverage of tonight's game on snsnonline.com. Click video view me please, or whatever that button says. And you can watch the Wolverines here, 1st and 10 from their own 10.
Oh, nice. So the booth doesn't really, the Griswold Pride booth doesn't really lend itself to having 3 grown men in it.
No, it's snuggly.
So we kind of.
This play is
another
also
flag.
whistled dead.
Is that
this
a delay
time
of
from
game?
the backfield judge.
Yeah, delay a game. So another.
Oh, my goodness. Wolverines are going to move back another 5 yards.
They are going in the wrong direction.
Jaden Curtin Quinn, he's like, what is actually going on right now? He's gesturing, wondering what. Okay, can we snap the ball? And we did. And trying to run the ball up the middle, but I can tell you right now that we're not going to get any yardage out of that play. The Whippets stopped that run.
I think it was Mikey Sims. Got about a yard on that one. So last week, Josh, in the game against Waterford, we did see Quinn throw a bit more than we had all season, and he was chucking it a little bit.
That's cool.
And we were wondering this week, depending on how things were going to go, if they were going to let him do that a little bit again tonight.
Right.
This is a good situation to have him do that because
Yep.
it's second and not in 19. So
He pitches it back to number 35. Chris Thibodeau coming around the near side, brought down by number 20 on the Windham Whippets.
up to the 20, 22-yard line, it looks
Chris
like,
is
Josh.
helping number 20 come up. He was a little slow to pop up. Chris is fine, and number 20 is fine, but he was got the wind knocked out of him or something for a second there.
Yeah, that was a nice, about 14-yard run there by Thibodeau. He's had a couple decent long runs, a 29-yarder, that one, and he also had an 11, couple 9-yarders in the first
Yeah, we
drive.
missed him at least out for one game, if not two. It's a carry up the middle for about 2 yards,
Looks like they got the first down.
and that was number 34 on the carry there.
Mikey Sims on that one, picking up the first down. Moving the chains.
Curtin Quinn running to the sideline every time for the play, comes back into the huddle. The boys go to the line of scrimmage, still deep in their own territory. Looking to his left, crouches down, calls for the snap. It's a handoff to the far side of the field, but that play is buried in the backfield. Number 8, all over C.J. Matson, number 4.
Matson's going to lose about 4 yards there. And that was, what number was that, Josh? Was it 8?
I think so.
Okay. I don't think that's the quarterback. Maybe they have 2 number 8s. They do have an 8 on defense. I see that, but I don't think that's the quarterback.
Yeah, he came right in through the offensive line as soon as that ball was snapped. We'll see what happens this time. Play whistle dead. It was a handoff.
Another flag. Yeah. Offside on Windham.
And it was Logan Chappelle was going to run the ball to the near side of the field that time, but instead Griswold is going to pick up a few yards.
So that's offside, and they basically just gave the yardage back
Yep.
to the Wolverines.
So the ball's on the 25-yard line in Wolverine territory. 2nd and 9 is the count. Calls for the snap, pitches it back to number 5, running to the near side of the field, engages number 8, and falls forward for a couple more yards.
Looks like he's got the first down, Josh. Yep, they're moving the chains.
You say brings the ball up to the 35-yard line.
They are moving the chains, so he's got another first down.
Logan Chappelle with a nice carry there for the Wolverines.
2 games ago, Chappelle had 210 yards on the ground. The team had 446 total.
Another first down for the Wolverines. Curtin Quinn crouching down, taking the snap, hands it off up the middle to number 34, Michael Sims, plowing his way forward, not taking no for an answer, fights his way up to the 45-yard line.
Another Wolverines first down, 11-yard carry for Sims on that.
Wow.
That was, somebody had him by the jersey and he just ran right through it. It's like you can't tug on Superman's cape.
He
See
was
ya.
shrugging them off, except they weren't leaving. He was just taking them with. Yeah, that was a nice carry. So ball's now on the 46-yard line, still in Wolverine territory, but the gentlemen are winning the possession game for sure and just kind of marching down the field right now. It's a handoff up the gut with a little bit of room to run. Then some defenders come in, picked up a few yards. That was number 4 on the carry.
Matson for about 6 yards there.
C.J. Matson.
It was one of those counter plays where he was on the right-hand side, and he got the handoff as he was moving to his left and then cut back up the middle where the opening was.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the blockers created a lane. He waited for it and was able to pick up 6 yards there.
The beef up front is doing its job tonight.
Number 50 is the center. That's still Byron, right?
It is indeed.
Here comes the snap. It's a fake to the left. It's a hand up the middle. Number 4 grabs the ball, running through the defense, stiff-arming his way all the way up to the 35-yard line. Quite the carry there.
That was about a 13-yard carry there by Matson.
You see he stuck his left arm up and just stiff-armed the first defender that he encountered and then spun his way forward for about another 6 yards before the secondary was able to slow him down. Really nicely done there. Curtin Quinn looking left, right. Motions C.J. Matson, hands it off to Michael Sims, number 34, up the middle. The Whippets are quick to respond, only picked up a couple of yards on that run.
Sims is going to be your guy between the tackles generally. So he picked up about 4 yards on that one. Interesting that we were talking about the field conditions at the beginning, Josh. In the middle of the field is terrible. As you can see, it's all brown. They're having games every Sunday here. We see that at church when we're here.
Yeah.
And Matson slipped a couple times now, I've noticed, when he's trying to go one side to the other. And he did it there. He almost fell down.
Sims and Thibodeau in the backfield. Thibodeau gets the toss, running to the right-hand side with Sims as the lead blocker. Nice run by Chris.
Got a flag down. Flag down on the play is a flag at the 26-yard line.
So right now it's going to be real close to a first down run by Thibodeau, but let's see what the refs have to say.
That's thrown by the back judge, so.
Probably holding.
I don't know. He's making a motion he's making a motion like a block, but no, he's saying holding.
Holding.
That was weird.
Holding against the offense, so the Wolverines walk back. Let's see, Chris picked up about 6 yards or so on that run easily. But we're going to walk it back now to the 36-yard line in Whippet territory.
That's a spot foul, so.
The Wolverines have had the ball the entire quarter. We're at 5 minutes remaining in the corner. They've had the ball for 7 minutes. Back to throw is Curtin Quinn under pressure by the Whippets. Sacked deep in their own territory. Number 81 with the sack. That's going to bring the ball back to almost midfield.
Mason Vargas, I mean, it doesn't look like anybody blocked him, Josh. He was on Quinn the moment he was starting to roll out. Quinn would have been better off to just try to chuck that ball out of bounds, but he didn't really have time to even do that.
So that was a massive loss there, bringing the ball back to the 46-yard line. Still in Whippet territory, but yeah, there was no pass protection for their first attempted pass of the evening.
Yeah, it was
I'm not even sure who the intended receiver was. If I had to guess, it'd be Franklin, but again, from the line of scrimmage, here's the snap. Pitches it back to Thibodeau, looking for some blocking from Michael Sims. Gets some, charges down the field to the right-hand side, forced out of bounds, and there's a flag for.
We were all waiting for it.
That's going to be roughing the, not roughing the run. It's going to be a personal foul.
Unnecessary roughness. That's going to give them a first down, Josh, from where the penalty occurred.
He had Thibodeau by the shirt, and you could see his shoulder pad for almost the entire run. And then when he forced him out of bounds, both of the boys were still running, but he used his shirt as a lever to spin Chris around and down and basically threw him into the Wolverine bench. I mean, there's no bench, but where the boys are standing. So it was pretty obvious. You could hear the crowd immediately go, whoa. Yep. So Thibodeau got a first down. Not the way he was looking for it, but we'll take it. That's going to move the ball all the way up to the 23-yard line in Whippet territory. That was a 20-yard gain on that play between the run and the penalty. 1st and 10 from the Whippet 23. Basically, the Wolverines are just going to run the clock out on this quarter is what it seems like. 18-0. Ball bobbled at the snap. Let's see who comes up with it. Lots of white jerseys, but I think Jaden got a hold of it. He sure did.
He did. He got it back.
Yep. So if you've listened to our broadcast in the past, you know that I watch the game through the binoculars, and so sometimes that helps to see what's going on in some great detail. But sure enough, it was bobbled right from Byron to Jaden, and he was able to just jump right on it. So it's going to stay 2nd and 10 for the Wolverines. Looks like we actually lost a yard on that play. So 2nd and 11. Boys are back at the line of scrimmage, taking the snap from the line of scrimmage. Jaden looks over the line, hands it off to C.J. Matson, who has 77 as a lead block, runs and dives his way forward for a gain. Kevin, a little bit, 6 or 7 yards on that, right?
Looks like he got about 6 there. We'll give him 6.
Let's see, that's up to the 18-yard line. I called a number there that I'm not familiar with. I think
77
it was 77.
Is that's Shane Rogers. Yep.
Nice block there by Shane.
Rogers, Caddy, Byron, Zach Confer, all the beef up front. They've been doing a good job tonight. Zay Clark.
Oh, offsides. Wheeler. Windham.
That's the 3rd offside penalty that they've
Number
had
42 jumped real early. I don't think they were trying to draw anybody offsides. He just got confused and came charging across. So it was 3rd and 5. So that's going to bring him another first down. And let's see, 13-yard line now. With how many minutes? 2.5 minutes, Kevin. This whole quarter has been one drive. One drive. One attempted pass that ended up in a massive sack. Ball's handed off straight up the gut. Whippets are covering it over. Number 63 for the Wolverines jumped in the back of the pack and tried to force the play forward. It was Michael Sims on the carry, I believe.
I think they're going to give him a loss of a 1.
Yeah, loss of a yard, but it was funny to see how tried to make something out of nothing there. Valiant effort. So the scoreboard still says 2nd and 10, but it's probably 2nd and 11. Hand off to the right-hand side. Thibodeau got tripped up. Michael Sims was the lead block. It looked like number 2 for the Windham Whippets there. Tripped up. Yeah, look at Chris. He's gesturing to the sideline in frustration. He's saying, I had a thing, but then I tripped.
Yeah, Juan Flores there. I don't know if he tripped on Sims or he tripped on Flores, but he tripped on something because he had a lane.
He did. Sims did his job and cleared the traffic out. 3rd and 7 for the Wolverines, deep in Whippet territory. It's a handoff to the near side of the field. It's Thibodeau again. Bounces off of number 2, who he just tripped against on the previous play, and literally just rolled with the proposed tackle and found his way into the end zone. It's about a 6 or 7 yard scammer there for Chris Thibodeau, 24-0. Well, Kevin, there's a minute remaining in the quarter, so we have enough time for either a extra point attempt or a 2-point conversion. Yep, lining up for two-point conversion. It's a handoff to Thibodeau again.
Does not make it.
No,
He's short.
He had a couple of lead blocks, and he was not able to get into the end zone. His lead blockers got into the end zone, namely Michael Sims, but of course Michael didn't have the ball. So Chris brought down a yard short. Score stays 24-0 with 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in the second quarter of play. So for the first time in this quarter, the Whippets are going to have a chance to touch the football.
1:11 to go before halftime. That was an amazing drive. They started at their own 15-yard line.
Yeah.
So it was 85 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
A few penalties here and there, back and forth. So Griswold coming out for the kickoff. We were talking at the beginning, Josh, the night like tonight, is how cold it is, that the football is going to be like a rock when you're kicking it or catching it. And we've seen that a couple times on the kickoffs. Matson almost muffed one, and then Bartrett, when he tried to kick the first extra point, didn't look like he got it up in the air enough, and they blocked it.
Well, we've definitely got a boot this year for the Wolverines. Number 18, I believe. quite the kicker. Here he goes from the ground with no tee, launches it to the 20-yard line in Whippet territory. Whippets pick it up and run to the near side. Nice tackle there by the Wolverines.
Number 12, Slade with the carry.
Yep, number 21 there with a nice tackle.
Chai-Cow on that one.
So the Whippets are going to have a chance to make an offensive effort here in the final minute of the first quarter. Ball spotted in their territory on the 37-yard line.
It's their second best field position they've had tonight. Starting a drive.
Just over a minute to go in the first half.
So in the final 60 seconds of the first half of play, waiting for the play to come in from the sideline. Quarterback goes down, signaling with his left foot, calls for the snap, back to throw. Number 2 in motion, going out under pressure, throws the ball and almost picked off by the Wolverines, but that ball was thrown out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
That was a collision between Vantine and number 20 for Windham, Dustin Solinsky, as they went up for the jump ball.
My money was on Vantine, honestly, but
Looked like it was out of bounds eventually when it was coming down. So even if he did one of it, caught it.
Logan Chappelle was also in the area. So 2nd and 10 with 55 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Looking left, right. Motioning for one of his players to take a few steps forward. Again, signaling with his left foot, number 2 in motion. Back to throw on the right. Same play.
That's going to be pass interference.
But that's pass interference because, let's see, that is number 9. Number 9 ran into the intended receiver and knocked him down. Trevor Belial. So it looks like he lost the play there for a second and got a little confused and actually ran into the route that the intended receiver was running and knocked him down.
So that'll give Windham a first down.
Ball spotted in Griswold territory now on the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Whippets. Trying to make something happen here before they head to halftime. Signaling with his right foot this time. Fakes the handoff under pressure.
Right there.
And going down
Nice
for the
job.
sack are the Windham Whippets. Let's see, that was number 59.
59, yep, for the Wolverines. That is Shazil Ali. He's had some big games on defense this year for the Wolverines.
Now the coach is out on the field in the huddle with his boys. That's interesting. I didn't know they could do that.
So they called a timeout.
Okay, well, that's why.
And there was a penalty on the play, but the Wolverines declined it.
Yep. So the ball is currently spotted back in Whippet territory at the 49-yard line. We've got 36 seconds left in the half. Wolverines with a commanding lead of 24-0. The only thing that Wolverines really haven't been able to do tonight is score an extra point. But they're scoring touchdowns.
Not converting those, but they're getting the 6.
Yeah.
Windham's down to 1 timeout left as well in this half.
So next weekend is the Snowflake Parade here in downtown Jewett City, Saturday afternoon. Parades and floats, a new feature this year where the parade is going to be ending at the Griswold Middle School, and students and families have a chance to come on inside, warm up, crafts and activities, and talk to Santa himself. Big pass attempt by the Whippets, intercepted by the Griswold Wolverines. Number 5 with a big interception, slips and then was tackled on his own 20-yard line. But
so that's a Chappelle with an interception.
Man, the Whippets cannot get anything going tonight at all. I'll be curious to see if they run any plays or not here, or if they just let the clock expire. 28 seconds remaining in the half, 24-0 the catch. That was going to be a 40-yard intended reception for the Whippets, and it looks like the Wolverines are just going to take a snap here. Sure enough.
That's exactly what they did. They kneeled down, and that'll be it for the first half.
Well, folks, the score so far tonight is it's chilly, but we're commanding lead over the visiting Windham Whippets as the final seconds of the first half wind down. It's 24-0 here at 211 Slater Ave. So the boys are going to have a little break here to talk about what went well, and of course the Whippets are going to get a new plan for the second half, and we'll be back with our first half coverage wrap-up at the conclusion of halftime, but we encourage you to stick around for a few minutes because we've got some sponsors we'd like to familiarize you with. We appreciate these people as they make this broadcast and continuing coverage of Griswold High School sports possible on SNSN Radio. So for halftime coverage...
Oh.
I thought that was it.
You want the headset mic?
No, I'm not going to do anything.
You not? All right.
Nope, we'll play a few spots, catch up, and then I'm going to...
Quick announcement, the project says graduation. There is a raffle tonight coming down into the field on top of the stairs. They're having a couple raffles. The raffles will be drawn right before the third quarter. And next week, it's our famous duct tape the principal night. And they're going to duct tape Mrs. Sloan to the announcer's booth. And she'll have a great view of senior night and the homecoming game. So everybody next week, you can tape up Mrs. Sloan right to the booth here.
I'm not alone, okay?
The price to tape the principal is $2 a strip, and believe me, there's a lot of strips sold. And I remember last time she was stuck right to the booth. They took the stool away, and she was just stuck right there. She couldn't move. So it was quite a night.
Yes, I'll be back. All right, perfect. Thank you.
project safe graduation as you walk into the stadium. There is a couple of prizes. And the first one's for the Duncan mug. Ticket 388-3250. 388-3250. If you have that winning ticket, please come to the press box. Again, this is for the Project Safe graduation. As you walk into the stadium, they have the raffles. The first one is 388-3250. And the gift cards, 388-3312. And this is for the gift card raffle, 388-3312. Again, come to the press box, please, if you have your winning ticket.
Which one do you have, darling? Which one did you? You had both of them? Oh, just see the other one. No kidding. So sweet. Sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mike. You're a winner every day. Have a great night. Thanks a lot. Here, sweetheart. These are all yours. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you.
Welcome back to continuing live coverage of the Griswold Wolverines here at home versus the Windham Whippets. The score tonight at the half is 24-0. The Wolverines on top of the Whippets. The boys are out in the middle of the field right now, stretching out, limbering up. 28 degrees is the current game time temperature right now, but I got to tell you how it always is at the beginning of winter, how it feels much colder than that right now. People are pretty chilly outside. So while we've got another minute or two before the kickoff to begin the third quarter, Kevin, why don't you bring us up to speed with some numbers from the first half of action here in Griswold.
206 yards on the ground for the Wolverines, led by Thibodeau with 10 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown. Sims had 8 carries, 61 yards and 2 TDs. Matson had 6 carries, 38 yards and a touchdown. And Chappelle had 4 carries and 30 yards. So if you're doing the math there, that's a total of 28 carries for more than 200 yards.
So the boys have been marching the ball down the field. We have not been able to score any points after a touchdown, so that score perfectly reflects 4 touchdowns, 4 6-point touchdowns. So I don't know if it's the conditions tonight with the ball being cold or what's going on, because we definitely have a powerful kicker this year. There's no doubt about that. But so 24-0 is the score. Boys are making their way back to the sideline, getting ready to begin the second half. During halftime, we saw Andrew Koziel out there throwing the ball a little bit, warming up Jaden Curtin Quinn. Kevin, what do you think watching Koziel kind of walk around, and he's right here in front of us? What do you think his chances are for playing this season at all?
Well, they are targeting Thanksgiving. It's probably realistic because essentially you have 2 more games, and then it's the Thanksgiving Day game. So that's probably realistic. From what we were watching just now, and he carried the flag out last week at Waterford too, Doesn't seem like his left arm's bothering him too much. He's got range of motion. The problem is that when it's still healing, if he hits it the wrong way, it could re-break, and you don't want that. So.
Well, and we know that he plays both sides of the ball. He's incredibly effective on defense as well as offense, so you're right. A little too early probably to put him back in. From a broken collarbone sustained, let's see, that was at Bacon Academy first or second week of September?
Second game of the season,
yeah.
So yeah, it's about 5 weeks ago.
Yeah. But he looks good tonight. It's good to see him. He's got his jersey on. He's with his teammates, able to throw the ball around, and he was making some 20 and 30-yard throws with his right arm, of course, so that was good to see. Here are the Wolverines for the second half kickoff here. Here's the kickoff to begin the second half. To the far side of the field, lands at the 25, bounces out of bounds. The Whippets didn't touch the ball at all for the first 11 minutes of play in the second quarter, as it was a one long 11-minute sustained running drive by the Wolverines, ending in a touchdown. So the Whippets are going to get a chance here. They had the ball for about a minute and then threw a 30-yard interception, and then that ended the half as the Wolverines took a knee. So here come the Whippets from their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10 at the beginning of the second half, 24-0. Whippets looking to make some scoring here in the second half of play. It's a snap and a run to the near side. Number 2 is engaged in the backfield by C.J. Matson and brought down for a loss on the first play of the second half.
That's a loss of about 6 yards, Josh, because when the ball goes out of bounds on a kickoff, it's a penalty, so the team gets it at the 35, so that's where they started, and now they're all the way back to the 29.
I know, Kevin, it's a little chilly to throw, but they're not getting any yards on the ground against the Wolverines, so it's time to test the secondary here a little bit. It's not ideal, but I'd like to see the Whippets here attempt some short screen passes. We say that all the time. Run to the far side of the field. Number 20 engaged by number 5 for a loss. That play whistled dead.
So Chappelle coming up and making that stop on Selensky.
They're only going to mark him for a loss of a yard on that play, but boy, it looked worse than that. So the ball's back at the 28-yard line in Windham territory. 3rd and 16 is what the scoreboard is saying here. I don't know why we don't see more screen passing in high school football. It seems like hardly anybody does it. Back to throw. Sure enough, he tries to air the ball out to the far side of the field and intercepted by number 9. It was an alley-oop tip play, scurrying down the far side, still up, flag down, 30-yard recovery and run. The play ended at the line of scrimmage, basically at the 20-yard line. Multiple flags on the play, so let's see what the call is, but it was definitely intercepted by the Wolverines. Trevor Belisle coming up big. He jumped up, Kevin, tipped the ball to himself, recovered, and scampered.
Yeah, he was playing center field on that as safety, and he saw the ball coming, and he just timed it perfectly and tipped it to himself and caught it and then took off down the sideline. And it was a penalty, unfortunately, on the Wolverines. Blocking the back,
yep.
So 10 yards walk back from the 20 to the 30. So they'll start there, but good field position for their first possession here in the second half.
Man, what do you tell your defense when you're on your heels like this at the beginning of the second half? They've got to contain the run, which they managed to do that time. Brought the run back for a loss.
That looked like a botched play, Josh. That didn't look like something was wrong.
Yeah,
there.
Michael Sims was the handoff guy there. Right, he took it right up the gut and lost a few yards on that play. There was no blocking at all. It was over before it started. Well, maybe they did some defensive coaching at the half. It certainly did not seem like they did much offensive coaching at the half, with 2 failed run attempts for a sustained loss of 10 yards and then a 30-yard pick. Here's the snap. Hands the ball off. Running to the near side, it's number 4, C.J. Matson, with some blocking, turning up and in. and then brought down just short of the 20-yard line in Whippet territory.
So that was a nice run there for Matson, and he's going to pick up just short of the first down, it looks like, by 3 yards. So they got about 10 yards on that for Matson.
So loss of 3 on the first run by Michael Sims. There was no blocking, but then CJ picked it up on a great run to the near side. He had some blocking. Jaden's still talking to his crew as he heads to the line, takes the snap, hands it off to Thibodeau, shakes off 2 tackles, and succumbs to a third. Didn't pick up any yards on that play. Actually lost a yard or 2. Jaden Curtin Quinn a little frustrated. Something did not work on that play either. He evaded the first series of tackles, but then the secondary came up and shut that run down. So let's see. The boys are going to take the snap on the 27-yard line in Windham territory. 4th and 7 is what the scoreboard says.
It looks to be about right.
No reason not to go for it, which the boys are. Here's the snap. Back to throw, rolling to his left, looking downfield, releases the ball, intercepted by the Whippets. Number 2.
Flores with the interception on that one.
And then tackled on his own 15-yard line. So I guess you could either kick it away or you could throw it away. I guess we chose the latter option. I wasn't even sure who the intended. There were 3 green jerseys in the area, but the ball got thrown right in the middle of that triangle.
He had 2 receivers on that side, 1 short, 1 deep. And unfortunately, he threw it right in between them to the defender.
Yeah. Starting on their own 15-yard line are the Whippets, 1st and 10. Handoff up the gut. Kevin, I'm. Why are they still running that play?
They have not been able to move the ball on the ground at all against the Griswold defense tonight.
No, they just got stuffed again.
And 1 yard loss on that play.
Yeah, they got to shake it up here a little bit. They got to try something different. And again, it seems like there's such a reticence in high school football for a short screen pass. I don't know if it's because they can't provide the blocking for the intended receiver or what, but you know, he's either airing it out 30 yards for the interception or gut to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Like, that's the offensive effort so far tonight by the Windham Whippets. Hanging it on to
Broken
it
play.
on the ball himself. He was looking for something on the far side of the field, didn't develop, ran to the near side, and then sacked.
Well, he was in the shotgun, had both running backs on each side. He went to hand it to his left, and the running back took off. So then he was like, okay, I guess I'm running it. And then they lost a couple more yards.
Well, they're taking their time in the huddle. Maybe they've got some fresh idea here they're going to give a shot. From the shotgun, gesturing to his running back. Takes a snap. Back to throw. Has some time. And then now here comes the pressure and brought down at the line of scrimmage. He was looking for someone downfield, and the play never developed. And here comes the punt squad. I want to say he had about 4 seconds to do something there, but again, he was looking 20, 30 yards down the field, and there were no short options. So it was either going to get sacked at the line of scrimmage or intercepted again. Nice kick by the Whippets. Cleanly fielded by number 5 at his own 47-yard line, running down to the far side of the field before being tackled at the 30. Logan Chappelle.
17-yard run back there.
That was a nice kick by the Whippets. That was a good 30, 35-yard punt.
So in what might be the game of the year in the ECC this year, Killingley at NFA, Killingley was ahead 14-13 at halftime. It was a block extra punt. That's the difference.
Oh, okay.
Extra point, extra punt, extra point.
Honestly, since my youngest graduated from Killingley last year, I haven't been paying as much attention to the Red Hawks as I should be. Griswold dropped the ball there on a handoff and then brought down to the turf for a loss. I think it was C.J. Matson was the intended runner there.
Yeah, a little trouble on the exchange here on the
handoff.
handoff.
It was not clean. So the ball comes back to the 33-yard line in Windham territory. Are the Hawks on the hunt in the ECC this year, Kevin?
They are. They're still undefeated. They were ranked number 2 coming into tonight in Class M in the state. But NFA certainly was potentially their biggest test this year.
Right. Long snap from the shotgun. Haven't seen that so far tonight. Hands the ball off to C.J. Matson. Doesn't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as the defense comes all over that play. Yeah, C.J.'s a little frustrated. You can see his shoulders shrugging there. All the boys are looking at their play scripts. Most of them have them on their left-hand forearm. Because
shotgun again here, Josh.
Deep shotgun, like a no-joke shotgun.
Chappelle's wide open. He's got it.
Brought down short of a touchdown.
Looks like he's out at the 2.
That was a beautiful throw. I tell you what, Jaden took a big hit on that play. He stayed in, made the throw, and then he got pounded. Beautiful 20, 25-yard reception there for the Wolverines. First time we've seen that tonight. Boy, that was a play that worked, except for the fact that it cost Jaden getting pounded there at the end of the play. But 1 yard line. We saw him throwing the ball like that during halftime, and I guess they weren't kidding around. No reason not to try it tonight. Back at the line of scrimmage, here's the snap. Handoff to Logan Chappelle, who just runs right into the end zone. Wolverines will take another 6 points.
Give it to the guy that caught the pass. So that's another touchdown.
30-0. Wolverines are going to attempt. They've been trying 2-point conversions tonight. Let's see if they stick to that. Nope, they're going to try to kick it.
Yeah, they haven't been successful on any of the 3 attempts with the extra points. 4 attempts, I should say.
Back for the extra point are the Wolverines. Ball's down and up and good. 31-0. The Wolverines are kind of having their way with the Whippets here tonight.
So we got another update, Josh, in the ECC.
Okay.
Plainfield 15, Stonington nothing. About 10 minutes to go in the half.
Okay. Let's take time for a quick spot here while the boys are setting up. We'll be back in about 60 seconds with continuing third quarter action here. It's 31-0, Wolverines over the Whippets on SNSN Radio.
Kicking off for Griswold tonight has been number 18, Lucas Petrie.
Welcome back to live continuing coverage of the Wolverines versus the Windham Whippets here on SNSN Radio. It's a home game tonight, folks, 28 degrees and dropping. Boy, but you wouldn't know that it was so chilly from the way that the Wolverines are trouncing the Whippets 31-0 as the Whippets have their second possession of the third quarter. Deep in their own territory again, take the snap from the line of scrimmage, run to the near side. Number 2, getting some block at the line of scrimmage, falling forward. Kevin, that was one of the best runs I've seen all night. He picked up about 4 yards, maybe 5.
That's their longest run of the night by far.
Okay, so all right. That's what I thought. Man, that play looked well executed.
By number 59 for Griswold.
Less than 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter of play. The name of the game so far tonight has been Wolverine defense and ground offense, with one exception of a 31-yard completion just a few moments ago. Number 3 was pounded at the line of scrimmage and brought down. Boy, the Whippets just got whiplashed.
Shazil Ali on that one. He was in quickly, right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a yard there.
He's a defensive playmaker for the Wolverines for sure. We saw him, was it an interception earlier tonight?
No, Ali did not have an interception, but he's had a couple of tackles for losses.
That's what it was.
Tonight.
That's what it was.
Chappelle had the interception. Well, Chappelle and Belial. They had 2 interceptions tonight.
Back to throw are the Whippets. He slipped to the ground and then sacked, if you want to call it that.
That's a huge loss.
Oh, my goodness. The Whippets just cannot get anything going at all. You've been running the stats. I don't know if you can tell me or not, but I want to say the net yardage for the Whippets is negative tonight.
I'd have to add it up. I haven't had a chance to in this half. So in this half, it certainly is.
Taking the snap here from their own 25, and they're forced to punt. Wolverine's going to let the ball bounce. It's taking a Whippet bounce back to the 35-yard line, basically. So the Wolverines going to have 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line. Take a quick break. Back with continuing third quarter action. It's 31-0, all Wolverines on SNSN Radio. Out of bounds and spun off the defender and picked up another 9 yards, bringing the ball to the 46-yard line in Whippet territory. Continuing live coverage of the Windham Whippets here at home versus the Griswold Wolverines. 31-0 is the score. C.J. Matson with a big pickup there for the Wolverines. The Whippets were forced to punt the ball away. Absolutely nothing happening for the Whippets offensively tonight, as is verified by the scoreboard. Shotgun snap, handoff up the middle, loss of about a yard.
Yeah, there was nothing there that time for Matson.
Yeah, CJ trying to run the ball up the middle. We were saying during the break that had the Wolverines scored more of their extra point attempts, the clock would be running nonstop right now. Once the points get to 35, once there's a 35-point spread, the clock does not stop in high school football. We're 4 points away from that. Back to throw is Jaden Curtin Quinn, and play broken up. It looks like number 34 was Michael Sims was the intended receiver.
It's that darn light pole again. That was in my way. I couldn't even see that play.
There's a couple of things that are in our way, but you know what we're not? We're not in the wind, so that's something.
So Andrew Cozio looks like he's holding up a whiteboard on the sideline now with
he is.
The play calls, sending them in.
3rd and 10 from the 46-yard line in Whippet territory. Play whistle dead. Somebody jumped.
Looks like they're calling timeout. Windham called timeout.
All right. Timeout for Windham. Time for a quick break. We'll be back in 60 seconds here on SNSN Radio. Versus Whippets with a minute remaining in the third quarter. Whippets just called a timeout. Boys take the snap. Jaden Curtin Quinn throws to his right, finds C.J. Matson, shakes off his first defender, spinning, rolling, diving forward, past the 40 and into the 37-yard line on the far side of the field. Man, that was a great effort there by C.J. with the run after the catch there. He really took a big hit basically at the line of scrimmage and just shook it off and spun off it and ran forward.
So that was a nice screen pass, something you
we hardly ever see it.
Season.
Hardly ever see it.
To Matson on the right-hand side.
It was magical.
Going to punt it away here.
Didn't get what we needed, but wasn't a bad thing. Blocked punt, scrambling for the ball. Looks like the Wolverines picked it up, dropped it, picked it up again, dropped it, and I think the Whippets just recovered that ball. Boy, what a nightmare that was. Number 21 is saying that he recovered that for the Whippets, and it looks like they're going to have 1st and 10 from the Wolverine 47, 48-yard line. That was a blocked punt there. Second one of the night, right? I guess it was an extra point that was blocked earlier.
We had a blocked punt.
Oh, okay.
The first punt by the Whippets actually was blocked by the Wolverines. So, yeah, the kicking game has not been strength for either team tonight.
1st and 10 for the Whippets, just inside Wolverine territory, trying to make something happen here as the third quarter ticks down. It's a run to the far side of the field, number 3, looking for some blocks, and pounded by Logan Chappelle. Oh, my goodness.
There's a flag, Josh.
Oh, I wonder if there was some head-to-head contact there, because I watched that play through the binoculars, and it was a sudden stop.
Got an update on the Plainfield-Stonington game. Middle of the third, 36-0 Plainfield.
Sure enough, personal foul, hit to the head. So I was wondering about that. Logan Chappelle, I was watching the play through the binoculars, and it looked like there may have been some contact, helmet to helmet, and that's what the ref saw too. So this is the best field position of the night for the Whippets. Now they're inside the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Same play, number 3. Oh, my goodness. This time he's brought down even quicker by number 22. I haven't called that number tonight.
Matt DePonte. Nice play by Matt slicing in there.
They ran the same play, Kevin. So that's going to wrap up the third quarter for us here at 2-1 Slater Ave. Wolverines commanding lead over the Whippets going into the fourth, 31-0. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's fourth quarter time, folks, here on SNSN Radio.
Waterford, yep.
Coverage of the Wolverines versus the Whippets here at Griswold High School. Beginning of the fourth quarter, 12 fresh minutes on the board. 31-0 is the score, as the Whippets have the best field position of the night after a personal foul by Logan Chappelle. 35-yard line in Griswold territory. 1st and 10. Ball bobbled at the snap, and I don't know if they came up with it or not. They may have gotten it, but the quarterback was not able to get to the botched snap.
Whippets got it.
But the Whippets did cover it up.
Lost a couple yards on that.
Man, alive.
Almodovar came up, dropped it on the ground, tried to pick it up, and dropped it again. So, fortunately, one of his linemen jumped on it.
I mean, with the temperature being what it is tonight, right around 28, 27 degrees, cold is definitely playing a factor with that, but we just haven't seen anything motoring for the offense of the Whippets tonight at all. A couple updates for us, Kev? What do you got?
Waterford 14, Ledyard 12 at halftime.
But then,
And then
28-12.
Killingly is still up on NFA 14-13 the end of 3.
Looking to throw are the Whippets. Incomplete pass. Number 2 is the intended receiver. Looks like C.J. Matson and 21. Is that Devin Chykow?
That's Chykow, indeed.
We're on coverage that time, but the ball just never made it to the intended receiver. Would have been a 15-yard gain. So that was the most reasonable throw of the night that I've seen. It wasn't a 30-yard bomb.
One of the quirky things I've noticed about the Whippets, too, is they have some of the deepest huddles I've ever seen in my life. They huddle for like 12 yards from the ball.
I don't know what they're talking about, man, because whatever it is, it's not working. It's time to change the conversation.
I think it's like DOD secrets.
I don't know, man. Run up the middle, number 9. Off, it gets through the offensive line and scrambles forward for a few yards. Kevin, I think that's the second time of the night we've seen that.
They actually got positive yardage, about 6 yards on that, but they needed about 14, so it's going to turn the ball over to
It's a little sad when you're watching a football game and you're surprised when the running back makes it through the line of scrimmage. Like, that's only happened twice. So he did a good job, though. The boys were there to make the tackle. He just spun off of them and kept running to the near side of the field. So maybe it's a building year for the Whippets. Let's say that.
They did come in 2-4,
Mm-hmm.
so they have struggled this year.
They're on the 28-yard line in Wolverine territory. So, again, the best field position of the night, but they're struggling to get a first down.
Well, that was an interesting play. They had the tight end, Colby Vantine, do a little bit of a step-back screen as Quinn was rolling out to his right. He threw it back to his left, but he got hammered when he was throwing it, so the ball didn't quite get there.
Yeah. So the Whippets give it over on downs because they just can't move the ball forward tonight at all. Wolverines here deep in their own territory. Taking the snap from the line of scrimmage. Thibodeau in motion. Sure enough, he gets the ball running to the near side of the field. Gets one block at the line of scrimmage, and then a shoestring tackle brings him down after a gain of about 5 yards. Number 8 on the tackle for the Windham Whippets.
Looked like he had a lane there, and Mike even went, because he thought he might be breaking it, but the Whippets came in and filled that gap pretty quickly.
Scoreboard says it's 3rd and 4 from the 35-yard line in Wolverine territory. Thibodeau in motion, gets the ball again, running to the near side. Wrapped up by number 8, just after the line of scrimmage. Forced out of bounds. And at the end of the play, Chris's momentum brought him up against a little shed that's on the field, and he's not happy about it at all. I don't think it was a foul. I don't think it was intended, boy, but Chris is round up pretty good. Thibodeau, I need to settle down, buddy. I don't think it was on purpose. Yeah, there's no flags on the play. This little structure is about, what did you say, Kevin, 10 or 15 feet off the field? And he was just shoved out of bounds, and his momentum carried him into the shed. But, boy, he was not happy. Doesn't look like
it was a nice pickup, nice run.
Yeah, it was.
We wound up getting about 9 yards on that for the first down, so that they have it rated just about midfield here. Josh,
yeah, nobody hurt on the play. No flags. It was just football.
He was backpedaling, and the guy let go of him.
He did,
and he just fell backwards into the shed. The guy didn't push him. So.
No, he didn't. It was just football. Here's the snap. It's a run to the far side of the field. C.J. Matson looking for some blocking at the line of scrimmage, not finding anything, and brought back a couple yards for a loss. Well, they marked that ball pretty favorably. Looks like they didn't lose any yardage on that. Maybe half a yard.
Maybe the initial contact.
Okay, let's go with that. They did mark it for a loss of a yard. I can see now, but
left foot, right foot, except you're standing shoulder width apart.
Back at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like the Whippets jumped into
That's the third time tonight.
I didn't see any motion on the Wolverines at all, and I saw about 2 or 3 Whippets jump into the neutral zone there.
You heard all the whistles go off because everyone saw it. And the far side judge, after a few seconds, was like, yeah, I'll throw the flag.
Throw the flag. So another 5 yards cross midfield here, 45-yard line in Whippet territory. With the carry are the Wolverines. Good stiff arm there, and then forced out of bounds was, let's see, number 5, Logan Chappelle.
Logan Chappelle. Another first down, moving the change.
I don't think the Whippets have had a first down, have they? Not even on penalties.
I don't recall. I think you're correct. They have not.
Yeah. Yikes.
That was a nice.
You got to wonder who they
Chappelle
beat.
there.
Who did they beat to come in 2-4 in this game?
They beat Ledyard
Okay.
last week.
All right. C.J. Matson with the carry coming across the line of scrimmage, and he's wrapped up right at the line and brought down. No significant gain on that play.
And it stopped right at the line of scrimmage there, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 here.
Well, if the fourth quarter is anything like the third quarter, the Wolverines are just going to wrap up the clock is what they're going to wrap up. 8.5 minutes remaining in the game.
It's already been 3 minutes on this possession, so
31-0 is the score, so I don't think we can anticipate anything aggressive here by the Wolverines. Just ground and pound, which seems to be working just fine. From the line of scrimmage. Fakes a handoff. Sure enough, back to throw under pressure, rolling to the far side of the field, and then sacked. So I just said I don't see any reason to throw the ball, and they attempt to throw the ball.
and lose 7 yards in the process.
Maybe it's practice time.
But we've said it time and time again in the years that we've been doing this, Josh. You have a right-handed quarterback, and you're rolling him out to the left.
I don't know.
Why are you doing that?
I don't know.
Makes no sense.
Maybe you have a left-handed runner.
So
Maybe your
don't
wide
understand
receiver. Maybe your wide receiver is left-handed.
And Quinn, you know, in his
I don't know.
first year as a starter, and he tends to go backwards too far
Yeah.
when he's rolling. So he's not just rolling out to the side; he's rolling backwards into the side.
Yeah. Well, we hand it off up the gut. Wow, with a lane is Michael Sims taking half the secondary with him before he's brought down inside the 30.
Nice run there by Sims. He's going to come up 2 yards short of the first down, so it'll be 4th and 2.
I didn't see a lead block on that. I just saw a lane.
That was a 15-yard carry by Sims.
So that's the line that opened up the door for Sims that time.
Both he and Thibodeau have a shot at getting over 100 yards in this game. Thibodeau might
Wow.
already be.
Right. Thibodeau hasn't carried the ball since that last run that he had. Let's see what happens now. He's in the backfield. Oh, Windham just jumped.
Again, no
Like-
false start this time.
Oh, they did. All right. So somebody moved on the green side of the field. I didn't see it, but the Whippets definitely jumped in response to it. So that'll cost us 5 yards. Ball's back to the 34-yard line now in Whippet territory.
4th and 7 now.
6.5 minutes remaining in the game, 31-0. Just when I don't think the Wolverines are going to throw the ball, they try to throw the ball. Maybe they want to work on a little bingo. Nope, back to run. Let's see, this looks like Logan Chappelle with the carry, with some room to run on the right-hand side.
Touchdown.
And waltzes his way into the end zone. Nice run there by Logan Chappelle.
That was 34 yards. 34 yards for Chappelle on that one. That's his second TD of the night.
37-0. So I guess that means the clock ain't going to stop. Once it starts, it's going to roll for 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Longshanks Lucas back for the extra point attempt. Snap, down, up, and no good.
Extra point, no good.
Looked like it was a bad snap there, Josh. I
It
don't know
did.
if the holder was able to get that down exactly the way
Yeah.
you need it to be down for the extra point attempt.
Yeah. Koziel out congratulating his teammates. Of course, he's the senior quarterback who is out from an injury sustained on his collarbone at Bacon Academy, second or third week of the season. But he's out tonight with his jersey on, congratulating his teammates. Happy with tonight's efforts, obviously. It's a shutout here at Griswold, 37-0. Once the clock starts, it's not going to stop. That's how it works in high school football when there's a 35-point delta.
So they have had a shutout once this year already, Josh, against East Catholic, 41-0.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the second time that the defense has pitched a shutout. The most points they've given up all year is 27. That's pretty impressive. The defense has only given up more than 20 points once this season.
Koziel's taken some passes on the sideline. He's definitely not interested in catching the ball much with his left arm, but he's certainly throwing quite fine. Watch this when he receives it. He extended himself there. Yep, we're hoping to see him back on Thanksgiving Day. Certainly wish the best for him in his senior year.
I wonder if Cameron Goivea, who's warming up with him, maybe he'll go in the game if the Griswold gets the ball back.
That's exactly what I was wondering.
So that was a little pop-up kickoff there, fielded by number 80 from Windham. And that would be Thomas Lavorgna. It's a junior for them.
So we're wondering if number 12 for the Wolverines might take a few snaps tonight, Cameron Goivea, because he's not warming up Koziel, but must be the other way around.
It looks like a lot of the starters are taking their helmets off, too. I see Matt DePonte, Kobe Valentine, all these defenders that are...
Well, Jaden Curtin-Quinn took his helmet off at the end of that last drive.
So we've got to... We'll try to get some of these numbers and names here for you, for the listeners, because there's some young men that don't get a lot of chance to play there now on the field. Oh, new quarterback here for the Whippets. Oh, and he's going to the right side.
He's scampering down the field on the right-hand side. The Griswold secondary struggling to catch up to him, but catch up to him they do, but not until deep in the Griswold territory at the 20-yard line.
That's Zachary Smey, or Smee, S-M-E-Y. Zachary Robinson Smey, I'll say.
So what we're seeing now are the JV squads basically coming in, playing football here for a little bit.
It's a 40-yard run. Yeah, Messina on the tackle there for the Wolverines, number 7.
Kevin, I don't see any starters in for the Wolverines right now. Back to throw are the Whippets, number 76 for the Wolverines with a big sack.
Nice job by Confer on that one. Zach's been in here and there during the season. He's not necessarily a backup. He does play from time to time. That's the thing. Most teams do switch out their defensive line at certain occasions, especially if teams are going hurry up, which Waterford did last year. And that's really what confounded Wolverines last week, was Waterford doing the hurry up.
I see number 7, who was Ryan Messina in the secondary for Griswold. I believe number 9 is also in the secondary for Griswold. These are numbers that we don't see very often. Back to throw are the Whippets, over the top and dropped. I believe it was number 9 for the Wolverines, who was there playing defense, that interrupted that play. Sure enough, it was.
Yeah, Belial. Belial had a nice interception earlier tonight. Young man tipped it to himself. Caught it and ran 20 yards down the sideline.
Yep. Number 13 is in tonight, playing secondary for the Wolverines.
And that would be Caleb Starts. He's a sophomore.
Number 14 and 44 are in as well.
Isaiah Heikala, he's a sophomore. Number 44, Mason Williams, is a freshman.
Running back in motion, receives the ball at the line of scrimmage, finds his way through. Secondary struggling to catch him, forcing him out of bounds, and tripped and down and dropped the ball. That is going to be close. The Wolverines are signaling that they recovered, but let's see what the refs say.
They are saying it's Wolverines football.
So that ball was dropped and recovered in bounds at the 10-yard line, deep in Wolverine territory. Kevin, how sad is that?
What a heartbreaking thing for that young man from Windham. He was potentially going to score a touchdown there. That's number 28, I believe, Emmanuel Vasquez. He's a freshman. Looked like he was going in for a score, and he literally dropped the ball.
Yeah, he tripped and fell and dropped. I'm not even sure he was hit.
That was Ryan Messina, actually, that had the recovery there. That was a nice 22-yard run there for Vasquez.
Now, why did the clock stop at 2:23? Okay. So timeout called on the field. Really kind of, I mean, it would have been nice to see the Whippets put some points up on the board because honestly, Kevin, we've seen more out of the JV squad, a lot more out of the JV squad from the Whippets than we have from their starters tonight. Of course, the Wolverines have put their lower classmen in as well. It's good to see them get some time. Who's number 12? He's on the field. I don't call that number very often.
That's Govea.
Okay,
So
that's right.
He's probably going to play quarterback.
Yep.
Yep. My wife just texted me that too. 2:48 to go. 21-13 Kinley over NFA.
Wow. All right. Is that game at NFA tonight in Norwich? Yeah.
It's in NFA. I believe Kinley's home the rest of the season after this.
Okay.
They have New London last game of the season, so that could be another test.
Yeah,
for
big
them,
game.
So.
Here come the Wolverines. Most of it is JV squad. Number 12 is in as quarterback. Hands the ball off, up the middle. It's a run, a hip tackle after 2 yards or so. Number 7.
Messina
on the carry.
Yep.
Let's see. I see a number 51 on the field right now. I don't call that number very often.
That is Liam Gervais. He's a freshman.
Yep. 64 and 76 are on the line.
Aiden Daniluk and Zach Confer.
All right.
Confer was in on defense, had a nice play.
Number 9 in motion. Sure enough, he gets the ball running to the near side of the field. Shrugs off the first tackle, trying to find his way around the end. He won't go down. Play whistle dead. There's about 3 or 4 Whippets on the ground, but not our guy.
Belial on that one.
Man, they had a piece of every piece of his uniform was being pulled every which way, but he wasn't going down.
So Belial's a small package, but he definitely packs a punch.
Yeah,
He's played some on defense with Kozio being out, and they've had to rotate certain guys through, him and Jaikow and some others on defense.
So Wolverines still deep in their own territory as some of the underclassmen get a chance to take a few snaps here. Commanding lead, of course. Whippets have not scored at all tonight. Number 7 on the move to the far side of the field, trying to turn the ball upfield, but pretty much stopped at the line of scrimmage. So we've got 3 seconds on the clock, but the clock is not stopping. It's 4th and 5 right now for the Wolverines. I don't even think they're going to get another snap off. Nope.
No, I think that's it. I think that's going to do it for the game. Yeah,
so
everybody's lining up.
20 seconds and counting. 37-0 is going to be the final score here tonight at 201 Slater Ave at Griswold High School. Commanding victory by the Wolverines over the visiting Windham Whippets. They were unable to score any points tonight at all. What we saw tonight was ground and pound with 131-yard completion by, it was Chappelle, right?
Yes.
For the Wolverines. Other than that, it was all running into the end zone. So the boys did a good job tonight. It was nice to see Andrew Koziel back in Jersey taking a few throws, warming up the quarterbacks a little bit in hopes that he will be playing versus Plainfield on Thanksgiving. That game is in Plainfield this year, right?
It is.
Did I remember that correctly?
No,
it's here. It's home game.
Sorry.
Home game. So, Kevin, who are we playing next week?
So next week, it is Krek. And Krek has definitely improved this year. They beat Windham 20-8.
Okay.
When Windham faced them, so Krek is not the new program.
It was
that
a new
was
program
4 years ago.
All right.
So it should be a interesting contest. You never know when teams from across the state come because you don't get to see those teams that they play in their division, in their conference. So you just never know the level of competition there. But another 2 updates. Waterford beat Ledyard 35-12. In NFA, scored a touchdown, so it's 21-19, and they're trying for a two-pointer to tie it. And there was an offside by NFA, and there's a timeout right now before they make the second attempt at the two-point conversion.
It's quite the contest at the Norwich Free Academy tonight between them and the Killingly Redhawks.
So easily, again, Josh, tonight we had more than 300 yards on the ground. I'd have to do the second half. I'd have to add all of it up. But I would say that both Thibodeau and Sims are pretty close to going over 100. Thibodeau for sure went over 100 yards. Sims might have. So it's just another game where they had more than 300 yards on the ground, and they were able to just keep it on the ground all night and pound it in for 37 points. Really the only negative thing is you had one interception, and then you had the missed extra point attempts both in the kicking game and the two-point conversions.
I have to say the Wolverines' running game is looking impressive this year, and it bodes well for closing out the season. So next week, it is the Creek Academy in Hartford, Connecticut, the Corrections High School, and emergency responders.
So it's next
Here at
week
home.
here, and then they're off for 13 days until Turkey Day.
And our record on the season.
5-2 as it stands right now. And as we were talking about earlier in the game and pre-game, during the game, and Griswold would have to win out, we think, to even have a chance of making the playoffs with 2 losses. And even at that, you'd have to have other teams probably lose as well. So you got to beat Plainfield for sure. Yeah, Plainfield's on a streak, so be interesting to see. Plainfield's schedule this year is not been strong.
Patriot schedule?
Yeah.
Up until recently?
So
yeah,
their schedule has not been strong.
Not been impressive, yeah.
You know, it's Thanksgiving Day. It doesn't matter what the records are normally for these two teams coming in Thanksgiving Day. It's always a pretty impactful contest. Last 2 years in a row that Griswold actually knocked Plainfield out of playoff contention.
Yeah.
Because they hung a second loss on them, so that they disqualified Plainfield basically from making the playoffs. So no injuries tonight, which is a first. I think all the games we've done, we've had some injuries. It didn't look like either team. We had an injury. Last week, we had a pretty gruesome injury. It was a young man from Waterford, the wide receiver. It dislocated and broke his ankle. Oh. It was a situation where he caught a pass. He was running down the field. Matson was tackling him. He drops the ball. He fumbles. So he tried to turn around to go get it, and Matson still had his leg.
Okay.
So it was pretty gruesome. And we found out in the booth that we were told by one of the Waterford people that he has a full ride scholarship to Holy Cross to play baseball.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully he'll be back in action and ready to go by spring, and that won't affect him for the long term. And then we had another Waterford player get dinged. 2-point conversion is good. Tie game 21-21 at NFA.
Wow.
So that's going to go into overtime.
Yeah, that was going to be the game of the week, though.
Game of the year, maybe, in the ECC.
Yeah.
So.
Well, 37-0 is the tale of the tape here, with the Wolverines a commanding victory over the visiting Windham Whippets. The boys are heading off the field and into the locker room, so it's probably time for us to sign off as well and clean up our gear. Thanks to the Griswold High School for hosting SNSN Radio. As always, appreciate being able to call the game. Chilly game tonight, but the fans came out, and you were rewarded with another Wolverine victory. So join us back here. 6:30 will be kickoff here at 211 Slater Ave next week versus Creek Academy. Wolverines are doing well, and this will be their last game before the Thanksgiving break and the competition against the Plainfield Panthers. So congratulations, Wolverines. Thanks again for another good night of 2019 football. So for those of us on behalf of SNSN Radio, myself, Pastor Josh, my co-caller Kevin Thompson, and Mike Minarski, our producer, thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you back next Friday. Continue to monitor SNSN Radio for all your local news and sports. Good evening, folks, and congratulations.